There are now just 3 games to go in the Premier League, and the relegation dogfight has taken more dramatic twists and turns, with goals flying in every game. Welcome back to yet another video, guys. Today we are looking at the Premier League relegation battle again. It is so fascinating. Each week it takes another dramatic twist and turn. Do comment down below which sides you think are going to be in the mix. Has your opinion changed over the last weekend on which sides you think are going down? So do get your comments down below. Do make sure, of course, to drop a like as per usual. We'll go for 255 likes on this one because your support on these videos has been immense. And do make sure, of course, to subscribe if you haven't already for more Premier League relegation content. It has been another bonkers week of Premier League football, and especially in the relegation dogfight. Nottingham Forest picked up a 4-3 win against Southampton. Everton won 5-1 at Brighton, and Leicester City went 5-3 down at Fulham. We saw 21 goals in just 3 Premier League games on Monday. As well as that, we saw West Ham United pick up a crucial 1-0 win over Manchester United, and Leeds United only narrowly losing 2-1 to Manchester City. As we expected, guys, the focus is on 4 teams, with West Ham and above now really looking very safe. Some of those teams now mathematically safe, and Southampton, we can say, are pretty much gone. So the focus is on these 4 teams here, on which 2 teams are going to be joining Southampton. Like I say, Southampton aren't mathematically relegated, but so many things would have to go in their favour that we're going to start to discount them a little bit more now. Let's get our magnifying glass out and look at the 4 teams in the middle of this relegation sandwich and their recent results and the fixtures that they've still got to come. Starting with Nottingham Forest, who have jumped up to 16th place. We said that they had to pencil this Southampton game in as one of the biggest and most crucial games that they had, and it was absolutely bonkers. I was listening to this game on the radio on the way back down from Middlesbrough, and it sounded absolutely electric at the City Ground. The Nottingham Forest fans were drowning out the commentators. They were making so much noise, and I do think that is a reason why I've gone for Nottingham Forest to stay up this season. I think because they've spent so much time out of the Premier League and they've finally got back, they are just so desperate to see their team stay there, and their fans are some of the best. You've got to admit it, whether you're a Nottingham Forest fan or not. They have been absolutely sensational this season, standing by their team through thick and thin, and what a game it was. Like I say, Nottingham Forest racing into a 2-goal lead, goals flying in every direction. I should have guessed that this game would see no clean sheet. Southampton were able to get on the score sheet a few times, and credit to them, they really did push Nottingham Forest the whole way. It did seem like Forest were going to wrap it up comfortably when it went 5-2, but the goal was disallowed, and then Southampton pulled it back to 4-3 for a frantic finish. The most important thing for Forest, though, was getting the 3 points, and that is what they have done. Looking at the table here for Forest, it is a 3-point gap now with 3 games to go, and like we said, this is snail racing. It's not a question of do Forest need to get another 6 points and be mathematically safe. They just need to manage it and get over the line and just keep an eye on the other teams. They have got 3 difficult games coming. We'll come on to those in a minute. Next up, Everton. What an unbelievable result at Brighton. As if they won 5-1. No one predicted that. I'll put my hands up and say I didn't predict that, but like I say, I don't think anyone did. Credit to the Everton fans that went down to Brighton, sticking by their team. Absolutely passionate fan base as well, and it does look like it's now shifted back into Everton's hands for them to be able to stay up. They're in a driving seat. They're in a safety spot in 17th at the moment. They've still got difficult games to come, but if they can put in more performances like that and Sean Dyche can manage this team unbelievably well with the fans on side, they might be able to just get those few more points that they need to get over the line. In 18th place, Leicester City. I did tip Leicester City to just get over the line in my video last week, but their defeat to Fulham coupled with the win for Everton at Brighton, and it's shifted the other way where it looks like Forest and Everton are going to be the 2 favourites now. With games running out, Leicester City need to get wins somewhere. We said 35 points should keep a team up. 34 could be enough for Leicester City if you bear in mind they've got the best goal difference out of these 4 teams in this relegation sandwich. Like I say though, it's about getting those points on the board. Goal difference isn't going to be enough alone to keep them up, and the way they went down at Fulham wasn't good enough. Yes, they showed fight to get it back to 5-3, but realistically you're not going to win any game when you concede 5 goals. What's weird is Leicester City had been picking points up under Dean Smith, and a few people were starting to favour them as one of the teams to survive. It just goes to show how much one weekend can change everyone's perception, as Leicester City are now tipped to be one of the teams to go down. We'll come on to their fixtures in a minute as well. Last up in this sandwich, you've got Leeds United. United, and they went away to Manchester City, which was obviously going to be the most difficult fixture, and they only lost 2-1, which isn't terrible, but much to the Leeds United fans' frustrations, they saw Nottingham Forest and Everton pick up wins the day after, which has put Leeds United deeper in trouble. They are still only 2 points from safety though, and with the games running out, they'll be hoping to just swap places in the nick of time, but the pressure is certainly mounting on Leeds United, and Sam Allardyce has only got 3 games now to save them. Let's have a little look at the fixtures then. We will include Southampton in this, seeing as they're not mathematically relegated yet, but you can see the table just ahead of Southampton there. If we start with them, they do need 3 wins out of 3 and results to go their way. The maximum points they can get to this season is 33. Could be enough, but realistically, I don't think it will be. And do you see them winning 3 out of 3? I don't think so. They're just going to have to wait and see where they are after each game, but they could be relegated this weekend against Fulham. Leeds United have got through their most difficult game of Manchester City away. Their 3 remaining games aren't easy necessarily. Newcastle United at home is certainly not an easy one there for Leeds United, but they'll be hoping to be inspired like Everton were when they won at Brighton and pick up a result when no one expected it. West Ham United away may be the most winnable one there, especially with West Ham United now looking like they're going to be staying up. And then Spurs at home on the final day, which I've actually penciled in as a winnable game for Leeds United, as Spurs have been really inconsistent. As I've said, 35 to survive this season, and that means Leeds United need to maybe win 1 and draw 2, which means no more defeats, or go for 2 wins and they'd allow 1 loss. I think 34 points could be enough, but it is really running the risk at that point, and it could come down to goal difference. They're only better on goal difference than Nottingham Forest. If they were to be level on points with Everton and Leicester, then they could be in trouble. Not impossible here, but I do think Leeds United really need to get something against Newcastle first. Next up, Leicester City. They've got Liverpool at home and then Newcastle United away. The worrying thing here for Leicester City is their 2 most difficult games of the final 3 are the next 2, so they could be relegated before they have a chance of beating West Ham at home on the final day. Like I say, 34 could be enough for Leicester City with their goal difference, so that means they do need to at least get 1 point from the Liverpool or Newcastle game. Liverpool have been hitting good form, and Newcastle United are obviously playing for the top 4 as well, so I am really struggling to see a way out here for Leicester City, I must admit. Like I say, Everton's win against Brighton has just shown that anything can happen in the Premier League. Leicester City need a big result soon, otherwise they are going to be going down. Everton are next. They've got Manchester City at home, but at least they're going into that game above the bottom 3. And if you look at everyone's game on the same week, everyone's got a difficult game. So if Everton lose this, they might still be above that bottom 3 because everyone else has tripped up as well. After that, it's Wolves away and Bournemouth at home. Out of everyone's final 2 games, I like Everton's the most. And with that win against Brighton probably giving them loads of confidence, I do think Everton will get over the line now. I know the Premier League can toss and turn each week, but Everton have got themselves into such a good position, and that 5-1 win has really boosted their goal difference as well if it was to come down to being level with Nottingham Forest or Leeds United. Everton are in a good position. If they were to get anything against Manchester City, then they're surely on their way to staying up this season. 16th place, Nottingham Forest have 3 London sides to face in their last 3 games. Only one of them is at home, and it's the most difficult game, Arsenal. Chelsea away is maybe where Forest might be able to get something on the road. Chelsea have been a bit inconsistent, as we all know. They did just beat Bournemouth, but if Forest can get a draw from that one, it could push them 4 points clear of the bottom 3 with 2 games to go. And at that point, Forest would be in a very strong position to stay up. After that, like I say, it's Arsenal at home. I also don't think it's impossible for Forest to maybe pinch a draw from that one, especially if Arsenal have missed out on the title by that point. And then Crystal Palace away on the final day here for Forest. If they could pick out 1 win from those 3, I do think coupled with 2 defeats, that's still going to be enough, as it obviously gets them up to 36 points. Forest fans might be thinking 34 would be enough. I do worry if they were to lose all 3. I don't think 33 is going to be enough, especially with Forest's goal difference. So they need to try and get 2 or 3 more points there. But the important thing for Nottingham Forest is they're up to 16th. They've got a little bit of breathing space. Not a lot, but just a little bit of breathing space with the games really starting to run out. So then, guys, like I say, 3 games to go. Will it change again? I really don't know. Southampton, like I say, I think they're gone. Everyone above Forest, West Ham and upwards, pretty much safe now. Forest in 16th place now. There's a possibility they could lose all 3 games and still get over the line. Depends on the other teams, of course. Everton have got themselves into a really good position, but they have got Manchester City to play next. Leicester and Leeds need to pull out a magic win somewhere, but I do think for Leicester and Leeds there's a possibility that even if they lose their next 2 games, they could still have a chance of getting out on the final day with 1 more win. So then, guys, that's the latest Premier League relegation battle digested and dissected. Do let me know how many points you think it'll take to survive this season. season. I've said 35 for the last few weeks. I think 34 could be enough, but I don't want to say that's going to definitely be enough just in case Leicester or Leeds pull out a win like Everton did at Brighton. It really could go in any direction still, but Forest and Everton are surely in the driving seats now. Do let me know your thoughts down below, guys. Like I say, it's still wide open, but do make sure to drop a like and subscribe as well, and we'll have a look at it again next week. The Premier League relegation battle is crazy. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.